Welcome to the Steroids Podcast with your host, Dan the Bodybuilder from Thailand. Boom! Boom! Let's get started here. The Steroids Podcast is brought to you by Ultimate Guide to ROIDS, 109-page ebook by Dan the Bodybuilder from Thailand. Now, for the first time in bodybuilding history, you have someone with no corporate interests and no obligation to please anyone, not walking on eggshells to not offend. Ultimate Guide to ROIDS gives you the information, the whole truth, not a full truth and a half truth, full truth. Ultimate Guide to ROIDS gives you the keys to the Lamborghini, gives you the information, and lets you decide what to do with it. It's a crime this information has been suppressed this long. Now let's get on with the podcast.
All right, this is Dan, bodybuilder from Thailand, back with another episode of my bodybuilding, psychology, get your life together podcast. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is comfort chasing. So comfort chasing is a big thing in bodybuilding. You know, when I was growing up, we didn't have like social media yet to make things like look real glamorous. So I remember the most like iconic like bodybuilding photos of my time were Frank Mcgrath with his black and white animal pack advertisement photos, where he would be like looking really bored and looking like like the girl would be mad at him on the bed because he couldn't have sex with her. And then he would be eating his food and doing, all the things that he needed to do to be a bodybuilder, ignoring whatever his girlfriend wanted. I'm not saying you should do that, but it was actually it had an impact on a lot of guys, because it showed really kind of like what kind of extreme, if you want extreme results in anything you're doing, you have to have extreme behavior. In this new lifestyle, this social media thing, it's full of frauds. It's not real at all. And they're showing you like these lives that are like, very glamorous, the beautiful life, the beautiful glamorous life with no work at all, and cheating your way to the top, cutting all the corners by cheating your way there, and how that's so cool and so glamorous, and you can be just like them if you buy their product or if you pay their password to get their shit. And they're not going to give you the secrets, outright in front. They're going to make you give them shit first, all right? That's scammer behavior, by the way, okay? If you travel around, you'll start, recognizing scammers because people are trying to scam you fucking everywhere when you're a foreigner. So a good way to test a man and to see what he's all about is to take him to his physical limit. And so this is something I really like to do. And it works perfect for me because I'm a gym guy. So I go to my physical limit pretty much every workout for the most part. And what that means is you're going until the body it cannot continue. So it's like you want to stop and your body is telling you, I cannot continue, and you keep going. And it can even be a little bit scary because it's like, I don't know what's going to happen or something. And then finally, the body basically like shuts down and then it's over. And that's it. Okay. So when I train with my friends or people who I meet who are like going to be my friends, I want to see them in this state. Okay. And so, I don't change the way I'm training unless I'm like, hey, show me how you train, let's do your workout. I want to have you, I want to learn your shit. I want to learn the way you do things from people I respect. But other than that, I'm not changing the way I'm training. So when someone's training with me, they're going to have to be working like me. And so I'm going to get the opportunity to see this man being taken to his physical limit. And it shows a lot about the character of someone when you see them taken to the physical limit where they cannot go anymore. and seeing what kind of fortitude they have, what kind of willpower this guy has, whether this guy is somebody who just crushes under pressure, who crushes under adversity, he wilts like a fucking flower, or if he's like, no, he will continue on. And you see this guy, it's like I talked about in the last episode. It's like, well, no disrespect if this guy quits now, but like he just keeps fucking going, like this kind of shit. Because again, this is the kind of people I want to be around. And so for me, since I'm into working out, it's a great opportunity for me to see what guys are really made of, because I can do that really early on and figure out, is this somebody I want to be friends with? Is this somebody I want, near me? Or is this someone I don't want near me? And you can tell a lot from, like I said, from seeing a man taken to his physical limit. I remember like in football practice when I was like, playing like peewee tackle football when I was like 12 years old. I remember like it was the same thing then. Actually, like the coaches would take everyone to the limit and past the limit. And it was like there were some guys who could not cope. And like they like they would be crying. Actually, they would end up crying. And then there were guys who, were like, they could cope. And honestly, like you would see it on like the first week of practice, like who was going to be the people who have it for the team, and who are going to be the people who it's like, you're just dead weight dragging us, we just have to drag you dead weight along with us. And it would, these same people too, like their personalities in general would reflect this type of, work ethic and like self-belief, that they had, because I've that, like, even now when I think about that, because for those first couple of years of football, I had never been experienced to that kind of physical torture and pain before, with the like conditioning to get you ready. And my coaches were like really serious too, because they wanted to like win the national championship. And so I remember like I definitely was afraid or like had fear or felt scared thinking about football practice. And when I think back to it, even now, how far they took me, as far as like what I could do physically, it's like, oh my God, like there was literally nothing I could do more. And so, at the end, they're saying, bear, after sprinting, bear crawling, getting up and backpedaling, no breaks for like fucking like 700 yards, and then doing that for like 30 fucking minutes straight. And at the end, it's like, if you even put like your weight on your hands, like you will just collapse. So the only thing you can do is like be hunched over and kind of like walking with your hands kind of like close to the ground. Like that's all you can do, but you're not going to stop. You cannot stop, because if you stop, the coaches are going to know you're a piece of shit, and you are not dependable. And the team cannot depend on you. You're going to lose your position, because you're battling for a position. You're battling for like a starting spot or whatever, or, among the kids who want to be, whatever position. And it's like, you're sacrificing everything if you give up. So you cannot stop. And so at the end, that's what I mean by the fact that like they take you way past your limit to see who has it, who is hardcore, and who is not, who can we depend on, and who can we not depend on. And like I said, so I learned that at a very young age. And even back then, like the people's like social personalities and everything would reflect that. Like you'd see after the kids who could not cope, and then the kids that could, you would see like an alpha personality or like a total beta male. or like, or like, a guy who believed in himself, a guy who respected himself, a guy who respected other people, a guy who did not, who was just like wishy-washy, like, you could see these things. And so I recognized that at a very young age. Oh, this is important to take it to the limit, and it gave me that understanding, and you know, now I need to do that for myself. Actually, when I start working out now, I kind of like lose it, you know, because I go into this mode where I cannot stop until the workout is over. People who have worked out with me know this, where I'm going like full throttle, and I can't stop. And I'm, you know, I'm not you know, looking cool in the gym. You know, I'm not like walking around like Mr. Big Guy or whatever, or like, you know, like this was easy for me, or you know, like everything, you know, look at me, I look so good in here, or something like that. No, dude, I'm like fucking dying every fucking workout. Well, for the very most part, okay, I'm taking it to the fucking limit, and I actually can't help myself. I can't stop. Because something happens to my brain once I start working out, where I go into like kill mode, and it's like because I want it, you know, like what am I doing in the gym? I want change, motherfucker, you know, and so like there is nothing. It's like if I'm not taking it to the limit, I've been doing this long enough to know that the body does not change unless you force it to. Okay, like it does not change. Okay, and it makes adaptations too. It's like constantly, you know, like your enemy. And so I know that the only way to force it to change is to totally take control of it, and be like, you know what? You are my bitch, to your body, to use your brain and say that to your body and be like, fuck you. And you fucking drive that motherfucker into the ground. So that's what the whole reason that I'm, you know, doing any of this stuff is because I want to do it, right? I want to do it in the first place. This is what my goals are. This is what I want to do. This is why I'm doing whatever fucking activity I'm doing, you know? And so if I'm not giving it like not 100% effort, it's like, what the fuck am I even doing? Like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I here? Like, this is completely pointless. And, you know, I need to go get my priorities straight or something, and figure out what the fuck is wrong with me, and, you know, what I fucking want in my life. Okay. Cause you know, what am I doing if I'm not giving it 100 fucking %? Okay. So that's why I can't slow down once I start working out, and I can't stop until my body is just, you know, basically on the brink of death. Because you know what, I know what it takes to change, and I'm in there for a reason, and I'm doing that. Okay. So you know what, comfort sucks, dude. If you're comfortable all the time, and you like want to be comfortable, and you're like chasing like a comfortable life, and like trying to like stay away from hard stuff that doesn't feel good, like, dude, shit, you're not like, your life isn't going to like mean anything, you know, cause all that stuff that's like comfort and shit, it like has like, yeah, it's nice, it feels good, but like, does it have any meaning? No. And like, you know, easy stuff is like, well, where's the accomplishment? Like, what is the purpose of living? Like, maybe you just believe the purpose in living is just like feeling good. That's not what I believe the purpose of living is. So maybe if you just believe the purpose of living is feeling good, then yeah, you're like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna like let myself experience any pain, you know, and I'm gonna fuck other people over, and you know, I'm gonna get gain at other people's expense, so but you can see that like all this stuff, you can see this when you watch a man get taken to his limit. You can see these qualities about him and his character by watching him get taken to the limit. And so that's the thing, is that, you know what, you know, why would I spend any time? That was one of the reasons too why I wanted to be self-employed, because I was like, I don't want to be forced to be around people that are like fucking assholes, you know? So, you know, since I'm don't have to, you know, have a employment where I am forced to be around assholes, you know, I will not be around assholes. So that's the thing, is that like, you know, I got to find out, you know, what kind of men, what kind of people I'm around. And so I'll take it to the fucking limit. And then I can see you're fucking exposed, fucking metaphorically naked. Your brain is fucking naked in front of me. And you know what? It's always served me well. I want to talk about. I made a couple notes here. So yeah, I wanted to say, as regards to like protein too. So this is another thing. This is something that I get a lot of talk about, guys, because people don't want to eat the meat. They don't want to eat the protein. So when I talk about in the podcast, they're coming at me with like all this stuff, like, oh, like, I don't have to eat that much protein and I don't want to eat this much protein. Are you crazy? Or maybe they'll come up to me with some stupid study. That like fucking bodybuilders have never been studied with the fucking dosages that they're using and shit. Like what the fuck are you doing coming at me with this crap science that is totally not applicable? Okay. So coming at me, trying to make every fucking excuse in the book because you don't like doing stuff that's hard. So if you're one of these guys that are telling me about this, I know that you don't train hard. Okay. I know that you don't train hard because you're not somebody who wants to take it to the limit. You are not somebody who wants to, do things that are hard. You want to do things that are easy. You chase comfort. So like eating a lot of meat, having, 400 grams of protein per day, having, minimum 300 grams of protein per day. If you're a bodybuilder, come on, man, eating less than that. Come on. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you even doing, dude? And then like you're taking steroids and shit, right? Whose mechanism of action is the accumulation of dietary proteins. Okay. And then you're coming at me and you're complaining, being defiant, being like, I'm not going to do that. And stuff like that. And I'm like, fuck, well, you know what? It's up to you, man. That's you. Okay. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But you know what? You don't like bodybuilding because that's what bodybuilding is. Okay. You have to fucking eat the raw materials. Okay. so you know what? 100 grams of protein is 1 pound of meat. So like eating a pound of meat 4 times a day, like that is no problem for me. Okay. Like that's a problem for you. Why? Like I thought you liked bodybuilding. Okay. Because this is bodybuilding, okay? If you don't like that then see, you probably like a final result of bodybuilding, okay? You think you're going to get a bunch of girls, because you have a body, which you're not. You're going to get a bunch of men, and so you have these. You want this final result. It's a very prideful thing, because you want to show off something that you didn't work for, that you just like, oh, you took the right drugs or something like that. And now you have this, and then you're going to have like all this pride that and acting like a dickhead, it's again, like you can see all this stuff, if you just take a man to his limit physically, you can see all this other shit that he's going to do, all these other fucking mental qualities about him when you take him to the limit and see what happens. All right. All right, so that's what I'm saying is I do this with people, man, and I just wanted to say, like, ask yourself right now, man, are you willing to do what bodybuilders do, or are you not willing to do what bodybuilders do? Okay, like if you want to be a bodybuilder, because a lot of you guys do, and a lot of you guys have depression because you're not yet, and you can't like figure it out or something like that. And but you can figure it out. It's just because you can't get over your feelings. Your feelings are getting in the way, and you don't want to hurt those feelings. Those feelings is too much pain for you. You cannot handle it, and you're like, no, I will not go there. I will not go there with my workouts. I will not go there with my diet. And whatever, you are not going there because you don't want to experience that pain. You're not willing to do that. All right. So you don't like bodybuilding. Okay. If maybe you should just be going to the gym just to like have a fun time or something, right? If that's you. Okay. But if you're trying to be a bodybuilder, you can't say no to this stuff because this is what bodybuilding is. This is bodybuilding. Okay. Eating the meat, doing the training, taking the testosterone, whatever. Okay. You have to do that. If you don't like it, you don't like bodybuilding. Okay. Find something else to do. Maybe that's what you should do. Okay. Or change your goals, like fucking change your goals. Okay. Because this is not negotiable. And again, I'm nice about this stuff. I'm kind of talking harsh right now because I'm like on the podcast, but with people, like when it's like personal, like me and them, I'm not going to be like, throwing this kind of shit in your face or something. Or like like making you feel like, making you feel no good or something. Like I want to see you do good, man. So I'm depending on what your goal is. If your goal is to like, be like a fucking bodybuilder, well, I'm going to hold you to that. Okay. And I'm going to be the good friend that I am. And I'm going to fucking push you, motherfucker, to your goal. And nothing else is going to be acceptable. Okay. But if that's not you, if that's you don't tell me that, and you tell me that you're just doing this, you got to feel good, you want to be fit or something, then I'm not going to be pushing you like that. I'm not going to be taking you to the limit like that. Okay. And I'm not going to hold it against you or be like, oh, like, motherfucker, you weakling or something like that. That's not the way it is. Okay. So I'm talking like this on the podcast, just very harshly, because I'm not talking to anyone specifically. So it's just like putting information out there. I'm not going to be mean to anyone or offend anyone. Okay. I might offend a lot of people. Okay. but I'm going to, like, I'm respectful. That's what I'm trying to say. I respect everyone. And I'm not an asshole. If I am an asshole, then I'm sorry about that. And I'm willing to apologize. I'm willing to say, I'm sorry for being an asshole. If I was doing that. Okay. So yeah, we got over, do you actually like bodybuilding? Okay. Now here's the other one, is that, because of I wanted to talk about the drug use, man. And like using what drugs are used for, like, like recreational drugs and everything. Like some people think like, oh, it's just used for hedonism because people want to feel good. But that's not really why people get addicted to recreational drugs. It's more of because they've got problems in their life, and they're covering these problems up, covering up the feelings of the problems, because it's like the problems make them feel like shit, and it's like, I got to get some relief. I've got to because I just am in constant motherfucking pain, so I got to get some relief, and so those drugs give them relief, the recreational drugs, which then can really spiral out of control and become something really bad, where basically the drug takes over their brains and they are the drug now. It's not even them anymore. But just to give you guys a perspective on, where, why people are taking, recreational drugs and stuff. So, but the thing is that you don't want to do that, man. Because you don't want to cover something. You actually want to uncover something. Okay. So if you are, using recreational drugs to cover up, these depression or feelings of failure, or whatever bad feelings you have, things that you're upset about, you got to come face to face. You got to come face to face with that stuff, and you got to figure out how you can get over that, and then you got to really put your fucking life in that direction, man. And so if there's like something that you want and you can't have it, and you're depressed, and it's a good thing, it's a good worthy, valuable thing to be into, then you got to fucking put your whole fucking life into that, man. You got to put everything you have into that, man. And then that's going to solve your depression. Okay. That's going to solve why you're feeling like shit. Okay. Because that's the reason, the drugs are holding you back, man. You need your fucking brain to be on full fucking power in order to be pursuing your goals. Mega, man, mega, 100%. And if it's not, you cannot give 100%. Okay. If you're high, if you're under the influence, if you're intoxicated. Okay. And then the reason is because that you're intoxicated in the first place is because you're disappointed in yourself, or because you don't have confidence. And the reason you don't have confidence is because you're disappointed in yourself. Okay. Or you might have some other kind of crazy reasons too, because the society programmed you into it. Okay. But it's not true. And you can get rid of those too. All right. but the main thing is that, you got to have your sober brain. Okay. You got to have, that fully working brain in order to pursue your goals, which is the things that is going to make you feel achievement, accomplishment, good about yourself, okay? Confident about yourself. You've got to be sober in order to do that, because your brain, it cannot give 100% if it's intoxicated, okay? So that's the thing with the recreational drugs, all right? All right, so let's get on to the next. I had a few things, I wanted to talk about. All right, and then the other thing was that if you want to look like everyone else in the gym, which I know you don't, that's why you're listening to this podcast, keep on taking the dominant advice that you hear so frequently, about diet, training, about steroids. Everybody is following that advice, okay? The dominant advice of what's okay to do and what's not okay to do. And then you can go to the gym and you can see what that results in, okay? And it's not what you guys are after if you're listening to this podcast, okay? So if you are, thinking like, oh, well, I've heard this said over and over again, so it must be true. Well, that's a trick that was being played on your brain, just because something's said over and over again, and it's said by a lot of people over and over again. And the dominant part of society says it over and over again, that it's true, it's true, it's true, it's true, it's true. That doesn't mean it's fucking true. They could all be fucking wrong, and they are all fucking wrong. Okay? It's all a fucking lie. Okay? So, and you can go validate that for yourself right now, okay? Because that's what advice that everybody else is using in the gym, okay? And are they having all those fucking awesome results? No. So you cannot be following this average advice, this mainstream advice, this consensus advice that everyone says is the right way to do things. Well, you're going to be just like all those other guys then. And most fucking people that take steroids don't even look like they take steroids. All right. So what's said on the internet about doing it in the gym with the steroids, with the training, that doesn't work. You've got to do something else. Have you ever used your brain to determine that just because something is said over and over by parrots that it isn't true? All right. And then I had one last thing to go over, okay? So every cycle that you do, you're burning the candle on like what you can do, okay? Like for one thing, like your life, it's like finite time, okay? Like you're not going to live forever. So like every day that you're like not doing your hardest to like fucking achieve your goals, make your life what you want to make out of your fucking life. Okay, that's like a day that's like gone, man. And one more day closer to like you getting old and you eventually dying and not having the chance to achieve it, all right? So it's like, dude, there is no time to relax, dude. From the moment you wake up in the morning, the moment you go to sleep at night, and like there's fucking no time to be depressed, man, because you have fucking got a goal about what your life, what you want to make it. And you are working on this, man, because you are on a fucking short timeline. And if you're not working, man, you are fucked. You are fucked. So when you wake up in the morning, when your eyes open, it's like, fuck yeah. Like now I'm rested again. I got this damn sleep that I had to do, and I'm ready to fucking go, baby. I'm ready for another day. And then you're like working, motherfucker. You are working all day long until you go to bed at night, and you're like fuck, I've got to recharge now again because I used up all my energy until I have another recharge, working on getting closer to my goals today. Okay, so there's no time to be depressed. Okay, and that's the main thing that you have to do. You got to figure out what you want out of your life. What do you want to make your life? This is the most important fucking thing for you to think about as a human male, okay? You got to know what you want your life to be and not what's going to be acceptable to other people, what other people want your life to be, okay? It's got to be authentic, or else you are not going to have the motivation you're not going to have this motivation where it's like you wake up in the morning and you're fucking going until you cannot go anymore and you have to recharge. And again, it's the same thing with the exercise. Like I was saying earlier with the physical exercise where you take a man to his limit, and it's like, is he able to fucking go until his body literally cannot go anymore, or does he fucking quit? You know, so you can see these qualities. Like I was saying earlier, you can see these qualities by taking a man to his limit. You can see all these other qualities about his mind. Anyways though, so I want to say it one more time. The most important thing as a man is knowing what you want your life to be, knowing what you want to make out of your life, and it being authentic so that you have that drive to open your eyes in the morning and you're like, all right, it's game time, bitch. And you're like, fuck, you know, you're doing that. You're working and you're getting after that goal because you're like, dude, I'm not going to live forever. Okay. Because you're not, you know, I've had a bunch of near-death experiences. I haven't talked about all of them, you know, on the podcast. You guys know a couple of them. And if you search on my YouTube really deeply, you can find some other stories. But yeah, you know, I know that I'm mortal because I've been so close to death too many times. You know, so I know life doesn't last forever, man. So it's like you wake up in the morning, and if you know what you want out of your life, it's like boom, and you are doing that. And then if you're thinking about if somebody like in the middle of the day is saying something like, "Hey, dude, want to smoke weed?" or something, you're like, "No, I can't do doing that. Dude, I'm working on my shit." You know, maybe you can do that because at night or something. You know, maybe you got a little relaxation time at night. You know, for a couple hours or something. But it's like you cannot be, you know, doing this kind of shit, this kind of pleasure-seeking behavior, comfort behavior. You have got shit you've got to do. And so, yeah, basically, and you know, it's not like you're going to want to do it 24/7 either because, or like, you know, all week or something either, you know, maybe, you know, everything is in moderation, guys. Like, you know, you got to relax, you know, blow off a little bit of steam on the weekends or something like that. But, you know, you are focused because you have stuff that you really want to do because you are making your life what you wanted to make out of it. And this is not optional. You are going to do it. And so, you know, you can't be being intoxicated or something. That's going against everything that you're trying to do with your life because you need that brain functioning 100%, motherfucker. So, you know, this is what I'm saying. It's very important as a man to know what you want to make out of your life. Okay. Because then you're going to have everything is going to fall into place. And the other thing too is that if you're not able to right now, you know, like give it your all, like with like physical effort and stuff like that, work on that, man. Work on that and try to be able to bring your mind to a spot where your mind says, you know what? I'm taking over. My body does not control me. My mind controls my body. Fuck you, bitch. This is your mind talking to your body. Fuck you, bitch. I am your master and you will obey. So another good way to test this about yourself is to stop eating. So to like not eat for like 48 or 72 hours, because this will take you through extreme pain. And your body will be doing everything it can to be able to break your mind. And you just have to be like, you know what? Fuck you. And that's the only way to get through it. Like fasting 2 days or more. The only way to do it is, or else it's impossible. Is to tell your body, fuck you. Because you know, no matter what that motherfucker throws at you, no matter what feelings it gives you, it can go fuck itself because you are in control, not that fucking body. Okay. Not this fucking pleasure-seeking bullshit. Okay, you are in control, and you are going to do what you want to do with your life, and that's it. Okay. Everybody's main enemy is themselves, you guys. You know, it's always like, oh, I can't do it because of this, or I can't do it because of that, and all these factors are against me. No, motherfucker, it's you, dude. It is you. You are the one that is preventing you from being able to do your shit. It's all your vices. It's your body controlling your brain. It's all these opposite, all these things that if you want to be mad successful, if you want to, and not mad successful in what society says is mad successful, okay? Mad successful for you. What did you want to do with your life, okay? What did you want to make your life? Okay, now if you want to be mad successful with that, your brain must be master. And you know what? Feelings have to go, okay? Feelings don't mean shit, okay? They mean nothing, all right? Because nothing good comes without serious pain, okay? And why would anything good come without that? Okay, oh, okay, you can have some pleasure. Okay, great. But what about like actually like men are, you know, like having accomplishments, building things, you know, engineering things, you know, that's like what we're about, you know, like building things up, projects, you know, so, you know, that does not come without serious pain. Okay. And if you think it does, well, fucking get real, motherfucker, because that's not the way it works. So if you're gonna have to come to, if you're not there yet, okay, if you're not there yet with this whole concept, you're going to have to get there if you want to change. If you're not able to yet, but you want to change, you have to come to the point where you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, you go, I am in control. And there is nothing on this earth that will prevent me from doing the things that I say that I'm going to do. There is no feeling on this earth. There is nothing my body can throw at me to make me change. I am doing this. And then when it does it, and because it is going to, and it's going to be hard and it's going to be painful as fuck. Okay. And you say, fuck you. And you know what? Some people can do it and some people can't. You know what? That's the way it is. That's the way it is. Fucking life isn't fair. Fucking life isn't fair. But I'm behind you and I want you to be able to do it too. Okay. I want you to be able to have that ability. I want to see you succeed. And you know, if you're hanging out with me, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I am pushing you towards doing your goals and shit. That's what I do, man. And for myself, and you know, I feel like any good friend would be doing that to anyone, you know, because I actually like want what's good for you. I'm not like a jealous or something about like whatever, anybody like getting good at stuff, right? You know, I don't hold information, you know, and I'm talking about getting good at anything, you know, whatever you want to get good at, you know, like making a lot of money, swimming, bodybuilding, bicycle riding, you know, whatever the fuck you're interested in, right? I want you to get really good at it. I'm not coming from a place of scarcity or insecurity where I'm like, oh my God, if this guy gets good, then I'm going to suck or something. That's bitch behavior. Okay. Again, like, you know, that kind of behavior is like super beta, you know, I'm talking like alpha beta in these past few podcasts. Cause I know that like all you bodybuilders, you know, are like, oh, I want to be an alpha male. Okay. So I'm talking your language right now. Okay. So if you're like somebody who's like, you know, like withholding information and like jealous of other people and secretly trying to undermine them, and not pushing them to be their best, not pushing them to meet their goals. It's like, well, that's like super beta male behavior, like super loser behavior. It's parasitic, and you know, it's like, damn, man, that's like beta as fuck. Like you're coming from this place of mega insecurity that you're like not confident in yourself. You're like not confident in your abilities because it's, you know, probably because you're not willing to take it to the limit. And so, you know, feelings control you and you're like, no. I know that I can't put myself through this amount of pain. So, you know, I don't want to see other people, you know, succeeding because, you know, then they'll get ahead of me and I'm not willing to go there. And that's beta. That's beta talk. Okay. You should be with everybody, with everything that they do. You should be like, fucking let's go, motherfucker. And you know, really pushing them to be the best person that they can be, with you know, to fucking rock their life, you know, because that's how everything's good anyways. Like having this scarcity mindset it's stupid. It's pathetic. Okay. Who is that going to make happy? Who's happy? who's feeling good, who's got real satisfaction and feels like, man, life is great, who's not trying to help everybody do great. He's trying to help other people do shitty. No motherfucker feels satisfied with his life. Is like, if the only way that you can actually even find true happiness is if you're like wanting to see everyone do good, right? Like if you're working as hard as you can, motherfucker, and then, you know, all the other people are working as hard as they can around you, and it's like everybody's fucking succeeding, life is fucking great. Life is fucking amazing. Okay? So like, dude, it all starts with you, man. It all starts with you, who you are, and like, you know, having like a tough conversation with yourself and being like, dude, it's time to be a man. Like, you know, I'm going to figure out what I want to make out of my life, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to dedicate my life to that, and I'm not going to stop no matter what until I'm dead. And then, you know, you're not going to have this fucking insecurity anymore. You're not going to be feeling like, you know, like this fucking crab in a bucket trying to pull everyone else down into the bucket who's trying to crawl out. And, you know, you're going to be wanting to see other people do good. You're going to want to see everybody succeeding, everybody growing. And you're going to be like, yes, yes, yes. Everything's going to be great in your life. Everything's going to be great in your friends' lives. Everything, you know, everything's going to rock. You know, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. And remember that all starts with you. Okay. So don't make excuses, you know, don't tell me, or don't tell yourself, you know, why you can't do it, why everything's against you. How you're gonna, it's hard. And, you know, you're in this situation that is like at a disadvantage to other people. And because of that situation, you shouldn't even try. And it's impossible. And that's all bitch talk, man. That's all bitch talk. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, because that's not the kind of person I am. Okay. So if you're talking to me, do not speak to me like that. Okay. I want to hear why you are going to force your reality. You're going to force your thoughts into reality. Okay. You're like, you got a vision. You got a vision. You figured out what you wanted. You figured out what you decided you're going to do. And now you got a vision of it and you pictured it in your head. And now you're like, motherfucker, I don't care what fucking disadvantage I am at. I don't care what fucking advantage other people have. I don't care what fucking problems or fucking barriers stand in my life. I am forcing this reality. I'm forcing this vision into reality. Okay? Force your vision into reality. Okay? That's what I want to hear about. I want to hear about how you're going to do that, why you're going to do that. And I only want to hear, I don't want to hear any doom shit. Stop, knock it off with the doom talk. Knock it off with the negativity, okay? Knock it off with that. That's not helping you. That's not helping anyone. That's not helping anyone, okay? Positivity, okay? That's the only thing that's good. Don't let these evil forces, these negative evil forces enter you and dominate you, okay? That's called demons, okay? Do not let these demons control you. You and your brain are in control. They are taking your life by the horns, and there is nothing that is going to stop you until you're dead. Okay? So, I'm thinking I'm ready to get, yeah, okay. I wrote this down. I want to hear about how you're going to take your dog shit situation and by the force of sheer willpower, force your vision into reality. Yeah, motherfucker. That's exactly what I want to see. I want to hear about how you're going to take your dog shit situation and by the force of sheer willpower, you are going to force your vision into reality. All right? That's what I want to hear about. I want to hear about why you will sacrifice every vice you have to reach your goals. I want to see you dedicate your life to something, man. All right? And I'm going to be fucking proud of you, dude. Be fucking proud of you. Man, that's the kind of person I want to be around, man. I want to be your friend. All right? All right. So let's get on to the first question for the podcast today. Okay, Diver Down asks, "Hey, greetings from Germany. Last podcast you spoke about diuretics, which are safe for daily use to use against that can work against water while on testosterone. Can you please tell me the names? Big thanks." Yeah, so like normal diuretics for daily use for hypertension, blood pressure. The common ones are hydrochlorothiazide or spironolactone is really popular too, but spironolactone is like an anti-androgen. So there's a different version of spironolactone called eplerenone, and that one doesn't have the anti-androgen effects. Um, and both of these are salt depleting diuretics. So they make your kidneys hold on to less salt, which then makes your body need to hold on to less water. And steroids are anabolics, especially testosterone. One of the reasons it makes you big is because it makes shit stick to you. Okay, it makes food stick to you. It makes minerals stick to you. Okay, so it makes salt stick in your kidneys, which then brings water into your body to balance that. So it's like you've got an overabundance of salt, which is, if you bloat a lot on steroids or on testosterone or whatever, that's what's happening for the most part. Some of them can be potassium though too, like D-ball bloat is potassium related. But anyways, these diuretics I was just now speaking about that are used for blood pressure are eplerenone, 25 milligrams, or hydrochlorothiazide, 25 milligrams. Those are very popular. Just in general, like in the world, I'm not talking about like for bodybuilders specifically, but just like for people who have blood pressure problems, they get prescribed that for daily use. And then, the cool thing about those things is they also really take water retention, like out of your skin. So yeah, it works on testosterone, definitely. All right. Kenny says, "Hey, Dan, so I clicked on your podcast on Spotify just because it popped up. And let me tell you, you've got me hooked. I feel like I'm in steroid school all day long, and it's all the information that I've been looking for 20 years. I'm finally comfortable taking some of these steroids and putting them together. I've spread the word, pushing the podcast on the multiple people. Every one of them fucking love it. My chick fucking hates you though, because every time she's talking to me and I'm not listening, she yells at me and says, 'Are you listening to that Dan guy again?' Ha, I usually am. Thanks, Dan. Me and the homies are all driving Lamborghinis now." The keys to the Lamborghini, ultimate guide to ROIDS. "Just want to say thanks. We appreciate you, and you are the Alex Jones of the steroid world." That was one of the best fucking messages, man. That was one of the best fucking messages I've got, man. Woo. I just got called the Alex Jones of the steroid world. Man, that was like oh yeah, fuck yeah. That was a big compliment. Thank you. All right, next question. Prisic asks, "Hey Dan, question regarding vaping while on contest prep and using PEDs. Been basically vaping all the time to deal with hunger, etc. Will this affect my look or potential muscle growth while on cycle?" I don't think it's going to affect your look much. And then like also, it seems like vaping would be healthier than, like smoking cigarettes, like of course, because you're not putting fucking combustion products, smoke into your lungs. And nicotine it's like a natural chemical that plants make in order to like poison other animals, but like obviously it has, to keep them from eating the leaves and shit, but obviously it has like psychoactive effects that are like, not so poisonous in low doses. So, I don't think that, like low dose vaping is going to be like harmful for your bodybuilding. I really don't. But any kind of like excessive use of like any kind of smoking or vaping or caffeine or any kind of drugs, right? Like any kind of excessive use is not good for sports and athletics, man. That's just the bottom of it. Like you cannot try to be the best sportsman you can be, the best athlete you can be while you've got these vices. You cannot do it. You have to, control these things. If you're doing some controlled vaping, I don't think that's going to do anything bad for you. Okay. But if you're fucking sucking on that thing like all the time and it's like, you're just vaping all the time, man, that's going to totally fuck you up, man. Your lungs aren't going to be right, man. But if you've got problems with breathing and lungs, you should do Tabata hit training, because that shit makes your lungs fucking, your endurance is going to be on another damn level, man. Increases your VO2 max so much. And, when you feel like that, and that's what I've like kind of personally in the last 2 years, I got sick of being like, oh, the bodybuilder who can't run and stuff like that. Cause it used to be like almost anxiety producing and shit when I like have to run, cause it would be like I'd run out of breath so fast and like, it'd be like bent over and shit. That is not fun, man. And I was like, I can't have this anymore. So, I got really into training like circuits and like high intensity interval training, Tabata training. And so now I can freaking run now, dude. I can freaking run and I do not get tired. And to test this, I do workouts for 45 minutes of weightlifting straight with 0 rest breaks, 0. I'm talking 0, okay? I'm not using like super heavy weights, right? I'm using like medium and lighter weights, but I'm doing like a full body workout, but I'm literally taking 0 rest breaks for 45 minutes straight. And yeah, that fucks me up, that takes me to the fucking limit. But I'm able to do that now. Whereas before it was like 2 or 3 sets, motherfucker. And I'm like out of breath or something. That was stupid. So, and then that being able to do that, it's made my life so much better, but it also like made my bodybuilding better and everything too. Cause then it's like, I don't even have to like with like heavy sets and shit. It's like, I mean, I got to rest enough to do my strength sets. I got to rest enough between sets to do my strength sets, so that my strength is at 100%. But after that, it's like, I don't really need to rest like much at all. And so, able to train at a higher intensity because my lungs are not holding me back. So again, you don't want to be doing any of this shit, man. That's like working against you. Everybody that's, I'm not trying to lecture you guys on this again, but man, I want to see everyone do their best. And so if you got vices, man, those vices are holding you back. So you got to go back to the basic, man, of what do you want from your life? What do you want from your life? Because that vice is being used as something to like numb the pain, get some relief, be able to take a break from the pain that you're in because of how you feel about your life. And so, you got to go back to the basics and be like, okay, what is it that I want out of my life? Why do I want to make my life? What do I want when I'm dead? What do I want it to have been? And then you got to, once you got that figured out, then you've got that figured out. And now it's like every day, you got to put every fucking effort into it, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, and you don't have no time for any of this other shit, any of these vices or shit. No, fuck no. That is stopping you. Okay. You do not have time for that. Okay. That, okay. All right. David asks, hey mate, I'm looking at starting a very basic cycle with just testosterone. I do mainly CrossFit training. Can you point me in the right direction in regards to estrogen blockers, stoppers, and a mad method in which I should be taking them during cycle, after, when, if gyno appears? Okay, so a lot of people laugh at CrossFit, and there's definitely like funny exercises to laugh about in CrossFit, like the kipping pull-ups and some other shit where it's like, come on, man, like that's fucking retarded. But like actually, if you strip away those things that are like easy to make fun of them about, it's seriously effective athletic training. And like for what the average person wants too, like what the average guy wants, like before they start, if they don't want to be a bodybuilder, but if they just want to like be like fit, if they want to have like a really good fitness, if they want to be lean, if they want to be cut, if they want to be really athletic, it's like, dude, CrossFit is like basically what they're looking for, but rather than like bodybuilding training, for that kind of a goal. Absolutely. So I mean, it's hard training, man. And you're like competing against people like who can get the most, weightlifting circuits done in this certain time, and it's like, oh, I want to beat you, motherfucker. So you're really motivated to like really give it your all. And so you know what? This is unpopular, like with bodybuilders, because everybody's like making fun of CrossFit because of like the stupid kipping pull-ups or whatever, which are fucking stupid. And I don't know why they have to do all that shit. And then you got like all these retarded fake naturals, in CrossFit, where it's like, what the hell? You have these women that are fucking the Hulk. But if you strip away all that that frill, all that frill that I don't know why it's there, but if you strip it away and just go to look at the basic core principles, it's got some cool stuff. It's definitely got some cool stuff. So in regards to you're starting a testosterone cycle. You don't want to take a bunch of, again, like I've said, for athletics, you don't want to take a bunch of steroids because that's going to fuck you up, and you can't be as athletic when you're on a bunch of gear. And like when you're in competitions, you preferably like don't want to be on gear or very small amounts. So for you, like 250 to 500 milligrams of testosterone, like 10 to 20 milligrams D-ball or Winstrol or Anavar, and like that's it. You don't want to do more than that. And as far as like anti-estrogens go, Arimidex should be fine. Arimidex is the easiest one to use. Exemestane is the best one. It's also the healthiest. It's also the highest technology, but it's harder to use. It's harder to get right. Dose right and feel good. And then letrozole is the strongest one, but it has the highest difficulty of use with it. So like more experience, if you really, are really experienced at how to manage estrogen symptoms and everything, then, using exemestane, using letrozole is not going to be a problem for you, but if you're like not very experienced at those things and you're kind of like, like have no fucking idea what you're doing, you can mess up with Arimidex more and still be okay. All right. Nick asks, hey man, absolutely obsessed with your podcast and it helps so much. So I have a topic for you. Tren has caused some pretty serious restless legs for me. Kratom has cured the problem 100%. How? I don't understand. I honestly think it will help everyone with side effects. Well, let me tell you why trenbolone has caused you restless leg syndrome, okay? Because trenbolone elevates prolactin, and prolactin and dopamine are counterbalancing hormones, okay? So that means when one goes up, the other goes down. If you got high dopamine levels, you have low prolactin levels. If you've got high prolactin levels, you have low dopamine levels, okay? And so people with Parkinson's disease, that can't control like shaking and stuff like that, it's because their dopamine circuitry, it doesn't work anymore. And so they have low dopamine levels or low dopamine nerve stimulation. And so then they have to take the drugs that people take when they're on DECA and Tren, cabergoline, pramipexole, levodopa, in order to increase those dopamine levels and in order, to be able to get rid of the tremors or whatever, or in your case, restless leg syndrome. So basically what's happening to you is, you're getting on Tren and it's making your dopamine, bottom out because the prolactin is going up real high. And since they're counterbalancing hormones, and then you're getting restless legs syndrome, it's kind of like, self-induced, like Parkinson's disease, like even a little bit. And then you're like correcting it with cabergoline, or pramipexole. And in this case with you, you used kratom, that worked for you. And kratom has effects on opiate receptors. So that's likely what happened is, maybe you just completely chilled your nerves out, with the kratom. But maybe, I don't know, maybe the kratom that you've got has some kind of dopamine effects too, I don't know what you're using. But anyways, if anybody else is getting restless legs, it's because their dopamine's too low. So you can get rid of that with cabergoline. Actually, for people who have just like authentic restless leg syndrome, cabergoline is the prescription medication to take care of that, not steroid related. All right. Grays asks, hey bro, hope you're doing well. I was thinking of taking some gear, maybe Primo and test. One of my boys told me to contact you because you know a lot about prostate issues. I've been having some issues with my prostate, wondering if Primo would be a good option or should I just blast test? Well, the Primo will be okay, for your prostate. The only ones that you should, if you've got prostate issues, don't use Masteron or Proviron. Because those do irritate prostate, specifically, those really irritate the prostate, okay? But any other gear doesn't really do it that much. As long as you have your estrogen in control, okay? Because
there's been studies on this too, like with prostate cancer and benign prostate hypertrophy and shit too, is that having high DHT levels in your prostate usually doesn't cause problems. But it's when it's when there's estrogen present too in the prostate, and then it's like high DHT levels with estrogen present. Now it blows up and there's a problem. So normally, like if you're having urination issues, you got to do stuff with estrogen control to get rid of it. Which is not what a lot of people would have thought, but that's how you deal with it. And a lot of doctors too, maybe they'll prescribe something like finasteride or like dutasteride to deal with like prostate inflammation and stuff. And I'm just telling you because like I have a lot of experience that like there's better ways to go about things. Anyways, so I don't think your cycle will be a problem. Just make sure you control your estrogen. And you shouldn't be having prostate problems. All right. Aiken asks, hey, messaging you from Melbourne, Australia. Had a question for the podcast. Are you able to talk about the difference between HGH and peptides such as CJC 1295 ipamorelin? I'm doing my first cycle and don't want to get too big. Just want some good shape and drop fat. So I'm on 250 test and 5 IUs of those peptides mixed together. Love the show, mate. So the peptides, they make your pituitary gland release growth hormone. Normally growth hormone is released when your body senses that there's no food in your stomach. And so then that sends ghrelin is a hormone that gets released and it goes to your pituitary gland and it makes your pituitary gland release growth hormone to make it so that the body will not start feasting on its lean mass and instead use fat mass. That's the normal way that growth hormone is turned on and functions in adults. So any of these growth hormone releasing peptides are ghrelin mimicking agents, which is why they make you hungry when you take them. Because normally that's, your body lets that out, the ghrelin, and it says, I'm hungry, my stomach's empty, make growth hormone come out, and then you eat, and then, that makes it stop. That makes the ghrelin stop, and it makes the growth hormone secretion stop. So this CJC ipamorelin that you're taking, like it's mimicking that process through an injection. And those hormones are mimicking ghrelin and making your pituitary gland release growth hormones. So it's kind of like HCG, like HCG is an analog or a mimic for luteinizing hormone, and it connects with your testicles, and then it makes your testicles do their thing, produce testosterone and sperm. But then you're doing the same thing with your pituitary gland with these peptides. Okay, but for people that are that have used HCG and thought like, wow, this is a performance enhancing drug versus injectable testosterone, and thought, wow, this is a fucking performance enhancing drug. There's it's a different universe. Okay, so a lot of money can be made by selling people on peptides, but that it's not what you're looking for. It's not what you're looking for. You're looking for injectable pharmaceutical grade human growth hormone. I talk about that on the podcast a lot, it's another one of those things where it's like people don't want it to be true. And I had my time with it too, guys. Like just to let you know, because like I don't really give a shit. I'll just say it. When I was experimenting with generic growth hormone, I took up to 40 IUs a day. Because I was taking it to the limit. Like I told you guys, like with the podcast, like I've done fucking everything. So like I know what I'm talking about. And so I've taken up to 40 IUs a day of generic growth hormone, and that stuff's shit. I'd way rather take 3 IUs or 2.5 IUs of pharmaceutical grade growth hormone than 40 IUs of that stuff. Anyways, yeah. Okay. Lucas asks, hey Dan, love the podcast and I listen to it every day at work. I'm about to start my first cycle on Sustanon 250. Not in it for bodybuilding, but just for the great look and modeling. I'm thinking 2 milliliters a week. Is that a good start? And should I add something to the cycle? I'd love if you could help me. 20 years old, 176 pounds, trained for 3 years. Yeah. Sustanon shot twice per week. That's a good cycle. And, you'll actually feel it too, because the Sustanon has testosterone propionate in it. So you feel that the day you take it, rather than like testosterone and anthate, you don't really like feel that, right? But the Sustanon, you feel that in your brain. So it's more like how you're expecting testosterone or steroids to feel like when you take it. Sustanon's my favorite type of testosterone. Gelfa, Omnidren, or Aspen, or Organon, Sustanon 250. Those are my favorite brands. But yeah, and if you wanted to add something else to it to, make it a little stronger, then like a good call would be 50 milligrams of Anavar, or 50 milligrams of Winstrol, or 50 milligrams of Anadrol. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Next question is from Sam. Been listening to your podcast, seeing your Instagram stories at Bodybuilder in Thailand. That's my Instagram, at Bodybuilder in Thailand. I have a cycle question for you that's a bit different from your usual go fucking big. That's what the pros did, which is cool, and I'm all about it, but it doesn't fit my life. So here goes. Got out of the Marines in 2012. Got way out of shape, skinny fat, said fuck this 2 years ago and got back in shape. Ran SARM cycles. I'm on TRT, did an Anavar Proviron cycle, was in great shape, and a couple months ago got in a car wreck. Just now getting back into being able to lift weights, pain-free in upper body. I want to look fucking flawless this summer and reach peak attainable form for myself, even if it's temporary. So basically, I want to run a lower dose Tren cycle to minimize sides, and due to the fact that bodybuilding isn't my life, I'm a dad of 3 kids who finds an hour a day to work out during the week. Want to run lowish dose Tren Ace, 50 milligrams every other day. That is a low dose, yeah. So 175 milligrams per week. That's definitely like a more tolerable dose. 175 milligrams per week is like not going to have like really strong mental side effects like 300 milligrams per week or above is going to have. Family men usually don't do good on Tren. Nobody really does good on Tren, but guys who haven't been using it for a long time, guys who are like new to Tren think they're doing real good on Tren, right? It's only later after a couple of years where you're like, oh man, now I understand what it was doing. But yeah. So this dosage you're talking about, 175 milligrams per week, that's good. And, I mean, if you just run that with like 300 milligrams of testosterone or 500 milligrams of testosterone, that'll be a good cycle. And then like with your diet, you can eat some carbs like during your workout. You can eat some carbs pre and post workout. Like other than that, like, you said you wanted to be like super lean and looking flawless and everything. So really, honestly, you should just be eating like steak and salads. Like other than that, around the workouts, carbs pre, inter, post. Then other than that, you don't really have a reason to be, eating carbs, because whenever you eat carbs, that's what's being burned, fat burning stops. When you don't have carbs in your system, that's when fat burning is occurring. So, carbs are the preferred fuel source. So, there's really not much reason if, it's not around your workout to be eating a lot of carbs. And, people will talk about, oh, well, calories in, calories out. Well, aren't you listening? Aren't you a hormone user, bro? Don't you know that hormones manipulate your body and the way it looks like? Okay, well, you know what? Insulin is one of the most powerful ones, okay? It's actually a lot more powerful than like fucking any other hormone in manipulating what your body looks like. And you know what is the number one thing that makes insulin go out into your body? Eating carbohydrates, okay? So you manipulate hormones by eating carbohydrates, all right? So if you want to burn fat fucking fast, you fucking limit those carbs. If you want to get big, you fucking eat as many carbs as possible. All right. Next question. Tyler asks, hey, Dan, love your content. I'm new to cycling. First cycle was just test and Anavar. Second cycle is equipoise, test, and NPP. I was going to cruise for a bit, then blast again. How long would you recommend blasting and cruising before coming off fully for a bit? Well, I don't really recommend like cruising that much unless you're like cruising long term. Like, if you're like cruising for like 3 months or cruising for 6 months, like that's one thing. But most guys that are using steroids, like, and if they're not like, if they're going full throttle, they're not really doing that. So in that case, I'd recommend just like when not recommend. Okay, 'cause none of this stuff that I'm talking about in the podcast is recommendations. It's just we're just talking about bodybuilding. We're talking about the way things are. I would say like if it was me, I'd just stop taking everything for a month, let everything drain out of my system. Let the organs and everything stabilize again, and then start everything back up again. After taking a month off of everything. No PCT. Not doing any of that. And then say like how long blasting and cruising before coming off fully, like that's too vague. I need more information, so that he's got to have more information there in order to give a good answer. Blaine asks, I have some metformin and I was thinking about using it during my prep. How do you think I should take it? Like a low dose every day or around refood days? Yeah, so take it 500 milligrams with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? It's going to help you partition the food from those meals. And it's also going to like make some of the calories from those meals not absorb, and help your muscles store more glycogen from those meals. All right, so yeah, you do it the same way that you do with your orals. You take it at the start of your meal. And that's pretty much it. Metformin with growth hormone simultaneously is like a freaky thing. Metformin with no growth hormone, it's mostly just a weight loss agent. All right. Jack says, in regards to Milos Sarcev saying 500 grams protein per day is necessary to be a bodybuilder, I don't know why people don't believe you with protein intake. One of the best coaches currently. Yeah, I know. It's because people don't want it to be true. So that's one of the things that they don't want to do. And so it's like they want to take steroids, so they're like, oh, I'll take any fucking steroids and I'll take fucking all these doses and stuff. And I'm looking for any excuse to fucking take steroids. And then, they don't want to eat the protein and they're like, I refuse to eat the protein. And so they're like looking for all the reasons not to do it, cause that's like one of the things that takes work, they're not just, taking a pill or taking an injection and hoping for some magic. It's like, you're telling me to do hard work. And so they're like, I'm going to fucking come up with every reason I can not to do that. Grayson asks, is test and Masteron a good cycle? I don't plan on coming off test. It is a good cycle. We don't need to use a lot of Masteron though. So, like some people think like, oh, I'm going to take Masteron and it's going to get me all sucked down and ripped or something like that. Like, man, that stuff is so funny. When anybody's talking about like steroids, like, making you ripped or something, or like burning huge amounts of fat, like steroids are anabolics. They build your body up. They don't take your body down. Like some of them have like side effects that like have fat burning qualities to them, but it's still not the main quality. Even stuff like Tren or Superdrol that are like pretty good at burning fat. It's, they're better at doing muscle stuff than burning fat. Fat burning is kind of like a side effect. So it's like if you're looking for like mad fat burning, like steroids is the wrong drug. Like you're in the wrong class of drugs there. But yeah. So the main thing that Masteron does is it makes your skin shiny and it makes you super horny. Like really, like that's pretty much what Masteron does. And it also makes you a little bit stronger and gives you like a more mental drive. It's definitely give you like stimulation mentally. So taking like a low dose of it along with your testosterone, like your testosterone is like your muscle shit. And then the Masteron is like this other stuff, secondary sex characteristics type of thing. Cause it's like injectable DHT, and any dose from like 50 milligrams every other day to 100 milligrams every day is a really good dose and it works really good. If you go too high, like taking 100 milligrams, every day, you're going to be masturbating a lot.
All right. So that's going to be the last question for the podcast today. It was fun talking to you guys, and I'll be coming up with another episode for you guys real soon here. So make sure to go pick up Ultimate Guide to ROIDS, 109-page ebook by Dan the Bodybuilder from Thailand. If you just go to bodybuilderinthailand.com, it's I think it's the first article on the homepage where you can check it out and read like 20 pages. It's definitely worth it. It's my best content. If you like the podcast, the book will blow you away.